And we're on.
Hi, everybody over at Healing Crystals. Lisa and I are here. We're here all the way from Sedona. And I would like to know where everybody else is from, because I'd love to find out where
Sedona, Arizona.
All the Healing Crystal people come from. That would be awesome. So hop on and start telling me where you are watching us from before we get started. Great. Yeah, so tell me a little bit who you are and where you're from, so we can kind of see who's going to be chatting with us today. And also if you've been to Sedona or you know about it or you have questions about Sedona, but I'm really excited.
Now we got California.
Yeah, great. From California, Salinas, California. Awesome. Well, I love Healing Crystals. I love the site.
Amazing. I've got my crystals on because I'm a crystal.
Crystaled up today, and I just love this company because they do it right. And I was really lucky. I got to go to their warehouse and watch them picking out the crystals that they were sending out to everybody. And what a bunch of cool people. And hola from Argentina. Hola Mari, ¿cómo está? Yo hablo español. Hi. I saw them picking them out, and one of the things they were telling me that sometimes, I thought this was such a cool story, they were telling me that sometimes when you're walking through when the pickers are going to choose the crystals that are going off to somebody, they said sometimes they'll open the little drawer and the crystals will actually pop out because they're the ones that are supposed to go to that person. I thought that was so cool when I was over there.
Yeah, I believe it.
So, hi there.
They are alive.
Yes, I love my crystals too, Sally. And hi, Audrey in Scotland. Oh my gosh, that is a long way away. And a cold place, I'm sure. So yeah, I wanted to bring Lisa. First of all, tell you a little bit about who we are. So Lisa, why don't you start, introduce yourself, and then I'll tell everybody about me.
I'm Lisa Moore, and I am actually the founder and co-producer with Lori for the LGBT Wellness Summit. That is, Healing Crystals is one of our sponsors, and we have been working for the last year producing this amazing event that is going to be airing June 5th to June 12th with honoring the Orlando tragedy victims and families and the lost souls that made their exit that horrific evening.
So what do you do, Lisa?
So what I do is I produce this event, and I'm a spiritual counselor, a healer, psychic, intuitive, and completed a book recently. And I'm really here to be an inspiration for those that are ready to take responsibility and really step into their authentic voice and really just be a love and support. I've gone through an interesting time with a son, and that's when you and I met, through mental illness, a son who was very sick, and he made it through the other side as a miracle and speaks globally. He's over in Jordan right now. And I am very passionate and compassionate about mental illness, and also within the LGBT community. I was married to a man for 23 years, and I've now been with my female life partner for almost 5 years, and just realizing part of my purpose and part of my mission is to be a voice within the community and of service. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, let's see. We want, Jasmine wants to know what crystals you're wearing today.
So I've got a lot of turquoise, and this is what is this? Oh gosh, I can never remember. I got actually from my partner for Christmas. Somebody probably knows what it is. And this is a rose quartz, believe it or not, and it's got a jagged edge that my son got at the Tucson Gem Show a year and a half ago, and he gave it to me for my birthday. I've had it on my body literally since, and I get so many compliments on it, and it's a piece of me. So this is always on me.
I always, whenever I'm speaking to you guys, I'm always with my blue stones because that's my throat chakra. So I'm always inspired by, the blue to get the message out and all that. We talked about that last time I was on, so I wanted to show you that I have my little pile of throat chakra ones all ready to go. I'll tell you a little bit about me. It was about 7 years ago. I had a major spiritual awakening in the middle of a volcano in Central America. And since that day, I was clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant. My whole head cracked open, and I all of a sudden had a wild and crazy ride into the spiritual world. And I think it's also very cool, how I was also got connected to the crystals, the crystal world as well, because the place where I lived, there's a lot of obsidian, and that was a real important stone for the Mayans at the time, and it's used a lot for grounding. So I was going to talk a little bit about the root chakra today, and kind of about family values and how sometimes we can get a little too stuck in the root chakra, and it's a big area for the people in the LGBT community as well. So it's kind of I thought it would be a good topic today to go through. But anyway, after that happened, I ended up moving to the U.S. I was living in El Salvador. I don't know if there's anyone out there from Central America or El Salvador. If you are, say hi, because I lived there 30 years. So I moved to Sedona, and when I got here, I realized what a magical place this was. And it was funny because I kept asking people, what's the attraction in Sedona? What's with all the people coming here, and what's that all about? And I realized that when I went into on some of the trails and went out into the red rocks, I realized there was a lot of crystal inside the red rocks. And so I went back and I did some research, and there was a lot of talk about Sedona being a place where perhaps it was in Lemuria. This was part of the sea chain of the ancient Lemuria, and that now the reason that so many people come here for healing is because there's Lemurian crystals in the red rocks, and since a lot of us in past lives were in Lemuria. There's a lot of remembrance. So that's why people come to Sedona and they say, I feel like I'm home, or I feel like I've been here before, or there's kind of that ancient remembering. And so it's a special place. I mean, there's not like crystals everywhere here, but it's certainly there's pieces of that. And of course, crystals, as we know, are like computer chips. Everything can be recorded in a crystal.
Yeah, they're alive.
They're alive. So the memory of, perhaps Lemuria or previous lifetimes can be stored in a crystal. And so it's kind of an interesting thing about maybe where you're going in your life. You might have a remembrance, or when you hold a crystal, when you choose one, a lot of times that will bring back a remembering of a place, perhaps where this crystal was, or something that was recorded on this crystal. Computers have crystal. They use crystal in their hard drives, so they truly are. They capture any kind of memory or recording. And that's why we have to clear them.
That's right.
So, have you had any interesting experiences with crystals?
Yeah, and thank you for asking. Mentioning my son, when he was in a dark place, going in and out of psychosis, somebody said, get him a piece of black tourmaline. And I got a chunk for him. It was a really good size. And he was basically living on the street with this piece of black tourmaline in his backpack. Well, he ended up getting attacked and was almost killed. And he was hospitalized, brain trauma. And I know to the depth of my soul that black piece of tourmaline protected him and saved his life. I really don't think he would be here today if it wasn't for that piece. And he was so upset because they stole his backpack and he lost the black piece of tourmaline. So that crystal did exactly what it came here to be and to do, was to really keep him protected. And as many of you probably know, black tourmaline, anything black, crystal-wise, will help for protection and clear out any dark negative entities. If that's too way out there, it just is a wonderful protection energy crystal.
Yeah, dark stones absorb a lot. So, they'll take on, any kind of issues. You want to pass me that? I want to show, I brought this. I thought this was such a cool thing. A friend of mine, she's, there's lots of very interesting people in Sedona.
Way out there people in Sedona. I don't perceive myself as being one of those as much as people may think I am.
We try to stay as far away from way out.
As humanist as we possibly can.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought this was a really cool idea, and I thought I wanted to show you guys because I know you guys like stuff like this. Hi, Elizabeth from Denmark. Very exciting. In Norway. Love it. Anyway, I thought this was a really cool idea. And all this is like a little piece of leather, it's colored leather. And this is a leather string here. This is actually, I think, a little piece of some fur from I think it's from a rabbit. And this is a feather, and these are all like things. And here in Sedona, we have a shaman store. So you can go there and find all kinds of very interesting things, toenails of things, and it's kind of wild. But anyway, I thought this was a cool idea. A friend of mine made this as a gift with a crystal, and she put a crystal in here, and then she put some, she put the little fur, and then she also put some sage. She wrapped the sage around it and kind of made this like a little protective bundle. You wouldn't light this or anything, but it's a little crystal. So I thought it was, and she gave it to me as like a little protection gift. So I thought, what a cool idea. And it's really simple. It's just kind of all wrapped in that. And then of course the little, you can put like a regular crystal if you want to have it sticking out. And she could have done something where it's, sticking out. And these make little, like little gifts would be really cute on, it's like a table. Or if you're having like a spiritual get together or something, everyone makes one or, something to do. So I thought this was kind of fun. And I wanted to show everybody that today.
And anybody with kids, younger kids especially, they can completely connect to the energy of crystal. I always recommend for clients that kids are having nightmares, take them into a crystal store, find a metaphysical store, go online to Healing Crystals and see what crystal your child is drawn to and order it. And just set your intention that right crystal will come into your child's life. Because they're really, really powerful and can really benefit from helping kids sleep, clearing out nightmares, feeling refreshed when they wake up. So it's a tool.
Yeah, kids react really well to crystals, and it's a funny story I have is I had my granddaughter was here, and of course she comes to Sedona to see crystal shops. That's the thing. So we went there, and as I walked into the shop, I thought I would be there dealing with her crystal stuff. And when I sat down, I was building this house, my house that I'm in, and all of a sudden, because since I can hear spirits. The voices came to me and they said, coming to this shop is about you, Lori. And I'm like, really? And they said, yeah, you're going to pick out the crystals and we're going to make a grid in your house. And I was like, whoa, I never even thought about that. And of course, the next day they were going to be pouring the cement of the foundation of the house. So they were telling me, buy this, buy that, buy all these different ones and everything. So I was buying the crystals that they were telling me. And what I did, it was interesting what the spirits had told me, and I thought this was kind of cool, was there were certain stones, and I remember one of them was bumblebee jasper. And there was a lot of jasper and a lot of smoky quartz that they had mentioned. And what I did is I put it in the center of where people gather. So like, for example, in my kitchen where there was a island, I put some stones. Actually, they wanted me to put anything yellow there, and that ended up being kind of an area where a lot of people gather. So, you don't have to put in your foundation. You can just take a little bundle, just like I did with this. You can put a bundle of different crystals, and then place them like inside of your kitchen island where people gather. And also I have it in my living room, like in the center where people gather. And it is amazing because in Sedona, there's a lot of very spiritual people, very sensitive people. And when they come into my house, everyone's like, oh my God, what is going on in this house? There's like this grid going everywhere. And the other thing that I did is I put a little piece of smoky quartz. And I can't tell everybody, I hope my neighbors aren't watching or hearing this. They'll go out and dig up my amazing smoky quartz. But I put it on the four corners of my property as protection. So you can just take the stones out, bury them. I planted a little flower on each one of them so I'd remember where they were because I didn't want to lose them. Not that I was going to go get them, but if I ever wanted to. And it's really been amazing. In fact, when I did that, I didn't have a neighbor next door, and then this house sold, and a wonderful neighbor came in that I was really happy that showed up. So I figured that I was attracting, good people in my life. So that was kind of fun. I don't know if any of you guys have done something like that.
Okay, somebody's asking, I have a cat that was very nervous. Was about to put her on medication for it. I found a crystal that has helped her. Absolutely.
Yeah, animals are super sensitive to crystals and the energy. They're wonderful. And that's another great idea. Funerals quietly spread crystals in the grave. What a gorgeous idea.
Yep, tourmaline around the corners of your home.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I also had a client, she was remodeling her house, and she was doing some work on her drywall. They were taking some drywall down. And so she, in the middle of the night when the workers had gone home, she went and placed crystals, different crystals that we had worked on, as to which type, put them inside the drywall on the walls around her house. And also they redid the ceiling, so she had them strapped to the beams of her house, bringing good vibes inside the house.
Somebody's asking, are we practicing witches? Somebody's just asked.
Practicing witches.
So are you a witch?
Well, I guess it depends on how someone defines a witch. I have to show you guys. You're going to love this. Okay. I have this.
Oh, there you go.
Can you guys see this? You say I'm a witch.
Like it's a bad thing.
Someone gave me that. I think it depends on the term, what it means to people. I don't have a broom. I don't fly around with that. I think I would call myself more an intuitive. I think I'm able to sense the unseen world at a much higher sensitivity than a lot of other people. I don't know if anyone else has the experience of imaginary friends or seeing things that are not common that you might not see. That's kind of how my life started, and then I just kind of let it, let society and culture kind of cover that up, and then all of a sudden something really amazing happened, and did not realize that I had this gift. So it was really something that just evolved. I'm actually more inclined to say I'm more aligned with the shamanic way of healing people and treating people. So
yeah, and I'm much more connected to the angelic realm and the fairy realm and the goddess, the ascended masters. I work very closely with. I was trained with Doreen Virtue almost, hard to believe, over 15 years ago. And I'm really about giving, everybody's intuitive. It's just whether you want to go there and connect with it, and the more you practice it, the clearer you become. So, and some of us have more of a purpose that this is what God, source, spirit, universe brought us here to be and to do. So I do it with clear intention and for the highest and best interest of my clients, including myself, that I'm just the conduit receiving information and delivering it. And I say to my clients, this information, even talking about crystals, may feel right to somebody today or in a week or in a month or in a year, and in another lifetime. It's all exactly perfect the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and I think what has been the greatest, I love being magical. I love magic, and the spiritual world is very magical, and it's almost like taking me back to my inner child. Going back and realizing that so much more exists outside of the seen world. I've had some incredible experiences. I have to tell you, one of my amazing Sedona experiences. One of my mentors, who is a wonderful psychic and someone who's helped me tremendously. She came out to visit me, and she was outside we had crystals, and I had a Horkheimer diamond that I had in the center of our group. And she said, I think a very beautiful gift is going to come to you today. And so, of course, I was very curious because she's magical, And I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, down the creek in Sedona comes this hawk flying right across my, zips right over my Horkheimer diamond and lands on a branch right next to me and just sits and peeks over at me on this tree branch. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so amazing. So that was my Horkheimer diamond story and my Sedona story, which was pretty awesome. So,
well, and I think we're all sort of tapping into another realm and another dimension. I teach at one of the big resorts here in Sedona, Awakening to Your Intuition, and at my class there was a couple that was there, and I was going through all my normal teaching, and the husband turned to the wife and said, should I share my story? And she's like, sure. So I'm like, yeah, please do share your story. Well, it was absolutely profound. They were walking in South Carolina where they live and walking along the beach, and the man was a few feet ahead of his wife, and he stopped dead in his tracks, noticing that there was a woman floating in the ocean that was his mother, who was deceased. And he just literally froze. And he turns to his wife to say, that's my mother. And next to the woman was her friend or somebody there in physical body that they were seeing, their reality was seeing. And the wife goes, oh my God, that's my mother. So they were just blown away. They said, we got to go back to our beach chairs and get our phone to take a picture of this, because they were just completely blown away. So they walked back to take a picture, and the wife was sort of over her husband's shoulder to take a picture of these two women that were now out of the water sitting on their beach chairs. So this couple, these two women, say to the husband and wife, can we take your picture for you? And they're like, absolutely. And they start this dialogue, and the wife, my new client, goes, well, you're new friends. Can I take a picture of you? And so they did. And they said their goodbyes, and off they go back to look at their photos on the camera. Well, lo and behold, the husband's mother, who looked like his mother, there was no face on the picture. It was just this hair and the body. You could not see a face. And her friend, there was no picture of her friend. It was a picture of his wife standing beside this woman. And they were just still in disbelief with the reality that this truly took place. I mean, they have a picture to show what happened. So don't be alarmed if you have these magical experiences. They're not weird. They're not bizarre. They are where we're coming into this change in consciousness, this change in our reality of orbs showing up, deceased loved ones showing up in extraordinary places. So just don't feel that you're bizarre. Share and trust with those that you feel can handle what your experience is, and it's not to go into judgment. So this is, again, it's about speaking our authentic voice.
Yeah, I wanted to just mention kind of a project that Lisa and I are involved in, and Healing Crystals is going to be one of our sponsors. So we're really excited about that. About a year ago, Lisa came to me and said she wanted to put together a summit that would be aligned with the LGBT community. So I don't know if any of you guys are part of that community, or maybe you just have friends in that community. So I want to mention that we're going to have a summit. It's online and it's free. And it's at lgbtwellnesssummit.com. We'll put it on the feed here.
And LGBT, for those that may not know, stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. So I'm sure you know somebody or have kids that fall into this. Again, it's just a label, which we're not for, but we're still in a place of labels. And Lori has been a straight ally supporter within producing this event, and we are just super, super excited about sharing our expertise with our spiritual teaching, building a community, a safe place for people that are struggling. I had a friend whose son at age 30 came there and said, "I'm going for surgery, Mom, and I'm becoming a girl." And she didn't know how to handle it. So this summit is a week long. It's going to be airing June 5th to June 12th. It is free to register, and it is honoring the 1-year anniversary of the Orlando tragedy.
Yeah, and I think that if we're talking about coming out and being our authentic self. I think this is a really important thing for everybody. Whether it be LGBT or whatever community it is. Being able to just be who you are. Not going inside. A lot of times I will sit with a crystal and ask a crystal, to reveal parts of me that maybe I haven't realized. Because crystals hold so much information, oftentimes they will be talking. They talk to you. Crystals talk to me, and so reaching inside, saying, "Who are you?" and really honoring people who are in this community. There's going to be 33 speakers, so I would really appreciate if you guys could. If you're not interested in the summit, but pass it along to people on your Facebook page that who might be interested, because we spent a long time, about a year, producing this, and there's a lot of really good information about it. There's gay, there's lesbian, there's transgender, there's straight people like me, allies who who are trying to get behind this community and really support what they're doing. So if you guys have a chance, appreciate it if you post it and share it with some of your friends who might be in that community.
And making a difference. Some of you talked about angry faces. There's so many people in grief. I mean, I look at myself. My mom disowned me when I came out 8 years ago, and I get it. I mean, but it's still challenging. It's still difficult come holidays, but I just have to move on and keep myself in a positive way and in a positive love and light for those that are not going to judge me, that are truly going to support me for who I am and what I've come here to be and to do. So, so please do share, because you don't know whose hearts and souls and how many people are struggling with speaking and being who they truly are.
And one of the things that I found, I work a lot with people in the mental health world, and what I found was that a lot of these people are afraid. There's a tremendous amount of fear, and some of the suicide rates are the highest for that category. So getting this information out, giving them the ability to talk to people who have maybe gone through a similar situation, I think is really valuable. I mean, we might just we might save lives. I truly feel that this could save people's lives. So I want you guys to think about that and get it out and help us get the word out to people who might need this type of information, and help them realize that there's a lot of people that they can connect to. There's a lot of people who have had these experiences. I know the first day we have Glenn Scarpelli. I don't know if you guys remember the
One
show,
Day at a
One Day at a Time. He's a famous actor. He was a childhood actor. And now he lives here in Sedona. So we're going to start with him. And I think Brian McNaught, who was one of the forefront leaders going into the corporate world about coming out.
and just a great interview. I personally interviewed Arthur Joseph, another one of our straight ally, who is one of the top vocal coaches in the world. And anybody who registers right now has access to 3 speakers. We have Temple Hayes, who is actually on the cover of the Center for Spiritual Living magazine that just came out into the bookshelves today. It will be available in all the Barnes and Nobles across the country and maybe actually across the world. And Temple and Arthur Joseph and Brian McNaught, their 3 one-hour interviews are already up. And you can get access to my book, which is called Ready to Receive. And Lori has a program, an online program that is available, and we have about 3 or 4 different meditations that are up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my website and Lisa's website up, so you can kind of see what I'm all about. Learn a little bit about Sedona on there too.
Yeah, and I'll give you mine.
So you know where we're coming from.
Here, can you?
Yeah.
Lisa Moore, Lgbt.com.
Yeah, Lisa specializes in people from that community. She does healing work with them. And Lisa Moore, Lgbt.com. Okay. And let's see, a crystal to help my son who is afraid of spirits he sees. Interesting. I would work with obsidian or tourmaline.
Tourmaline also, yeah.
Yeah, any kind of fear, any fear of anything. Jasenia, I would I would go right looking for a dark stone, black stone.
And you may want a hematite to keep him grounded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that could be helpful.
What did I do?
Go back. There we go. Are there any other questions? Anyone have any questions about the summit? Again, we're really excited about it. There's information about that on the thread. And then it'll also be posting on the Healing Crystals site. So just hop on over there and sign up. After you sign up, it's really easy. They'll just send you notifications when it's going to be up. They also have other topics at Health Talks Online. There's some really great information just for health issues as well. But of course, to get your crystal information, you got to come to Healing Crystals because there's not a lot of that over there. But we're here because Healing Crystals has been so amazing. So how do I make myself invisible to those attacking me? That the attackers can't touch me. Okay, raising your vibration. Let's talk about that. There's what we call the heart vibration, and that is the highest vibration that there is. So if you are living a life from the heart, what does that mean? That means nothing, not being angry, like people. We had some angry people here. So it's not having any anger. It's calming the emotions down to a point where you just start to diminish these emotions down. You boil them down in a pot, and that the only thing that really survives that is that emotion of compassion and love for other people. And that gives you an actual vibration, that it's truly registered. And when that is going out in the field, this will create a whole different life for you. I cannot emphasize walking away from fear and moving into compassion. There's some great studies out there. In fact, I actually monitor my clients to see if they're in that place through this Heart Math. And Heart Math is a company out of California that is actually able to monitor the frequency of your heart, the resonance. And I try to get deep down into that resonancy, because then I know when I'm walking in the world, I am bringing to me all things positive because I have the right vibration. Compassion, love, caring for others, moving out of talking about others, being negative. I cannot tell you how living a life that way, how dramatically it can change your life.
And, it's easy for us to be pointing fingers. I'm feeling I'm attacked, or on and on and on. It all starts from within. So really look at your beliefs and seeing if your mind chatter is negative and you're beating yourself up, or if you're really giving yourself loving, compassionate words. And again, another reason why I wear a rose quartz, and I'll recommend to clients, sit and meditate. Get a rose quartz and put it on your heart chakra and just notice the vibration of what you're feeling, what your experience is, and you'll start connecting to that energy, which is such a gift.
And the rose quartz opens your heart. So that is a great stone for that, and helps move that vibration out. When the world around you feels your love and compassion for it, you get lots of love back. I had one client who asked me, she said, "Lori, I'm looking for someone, a boyfriend or a lover," and I said, "Go home and put 4 rocks of rose quartz around your crystals of rose quartz in your bedroom." And she did that, and she called me back in a week and said, "I met somebody." So if you're looking, it can be a lot easier than going on Match.com.
Yeah. Okay, last question. I'm a cosmetologist and on my feet all day and work several days in a row. What stone crystal helps me for concentration and stopping back and hip pains? What would you suggest?
That would be lower chakra. That would be the root. I would work with jasper for that. Red jasper. Red jasper is very healing. When I was going through my spiritual awakening, that is what I used a lot of. Just it's very good about calming nerves. I found it was very helpful in that sense. It was also very grounding, and it helped a lot about the hips. So it's definitely in that lower chakra area. So yes, I would use that. And to combat stress, Sarah, go over to my website, LoriMorrison.com. I just wrote an article on my blog about the top 10 things you should do for stress. And in there, I included the crystals that you can have for that. So yeah, just pop over there.
And even getting a clear quartz and setting the intention of what you want that quartz to assist you with can always be extremely.
This is like whatever you need, just program.
Just program it. Set your intention.
Set your intention. Put it in there and say, "I want you to be, supporting my lower back." Put the support of your lower back in here and take it off to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's hope. Please go to lgbtwellnesssummit.com. Get registered for this free event. Share it with your friends. It's going to be truly, whether you're an ally or a sibling of somebody in the community that's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or Q for questioning, or queer. I mean, there's so many different letters now. So
any letters.
Any letter you want. Again, not about judgment. It's all about just being of love and supporting each other one step at a time.
Okay, guys. Well, thanks so much for showing up today. I hope everyone has a wonderful day from all around the world. And I just look forward. I will be back on next week. I'm coming back on, I believe, next Wednesday. And we're going to talk. I'm going to try to get to a lot more questions. And I want to do a little bit of some readings and give people a little bit of spiritual advice. So that's what we'll be up to next time. So look for me on there. And I'll be popping in and talking to you guys about crystals and getting back to life and getting into a vibrant life and sparkling crystal life.
Perfect. Have a great evening. Take care.